Revealed, my incredible millionaire grandpa discovers me and my daughter homeless under a bridge. Emily shivered as the cold wind sliced through the night. She tightened her grip around Mia, her 5-year-old daughter, trying to shield her from the harsh realities of their new life. Just a week ago, they had a modest home in the suburbs of Chicago, and now, under the sweltering concrete of the city's underbelly, they faced life as the invisible. Cars rushed by, avoiding her like they might catch something dreadful. She could hear muffled laughter from families on picnics, a reminder of the American dream that felt worlds away. As the stars sparkled like unfulfilled hopes, memories flooded back, her late mother's voice echoing in her heart. Keep your head high, Emily. Hard work and family are what truly matter. With every sneer she received from passing cars, echoing with judgment, Emily fought back tears. This wasn't her life, but she couldn't let Mia see her despair. Look, sweetie, she forced a smile, pointing at a stray cat weaving through the shadows. Maybe he's looking for adventure too. Mia giggled and clapped her little hands, giving Emily a brief flicker of hope. They stumbled upon an encampment of veterans beneath a different bridge the next afternoon. Larry, a grizzled man with kind blue eyes, shared stories of his time in the service, reminding Emily that strength comes in cycles. Their camaraderie, full of laughter mixed with sadness, pulled her from the quicksand of despair. But deep down, the weight of economic disparity nagged at her soul. She longed for the comfort of her old life, the community gatherings that now felt like memories from a dream. Just then, as fate would have it, a well-dressed man paused by the bridge, scanning the area. Emily's heart raced. She knew that look. Robert, her estranged grandfather, a self-made millionaire who had built a fortune but lost touch with family, now stood mere feet away from them with wide eyes and a heart in turmoil, realizing his family had vanished into the shadows. Emily? The name emerged from his lips as if it were prayer. Emily's heart pulsed with a flood of mixed emotions: hurt, anger, and a sliver of disbelief. She took a step closer, her chest tightening. You left us. The air thickened with unspoken tensions. I know I messed up, he said, desperation lacing his voice. I'm sorry. I've been trying to find a way back to show me what. Emily interrupted, heat rising in her cheeks. Your money? Your success? You left us when we needed you most. Tears pricked her eyes, but she held them back, clenching her fists. It felt maddening. A man who could lift her and Mia from this hell had turned away when it mattered the most. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you could drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Their eyes locked, tension mounting with every heartbeat. Robert was a stranger, yet so closely tied to the essence of her battered spirit, and the weight of economic inequality hung between them like a thick fog of regret. The sounds of the city blurred around them, laughter and sirens merging into an ambient reminder of their struggles. Emily was a hurricane of emotions, torn between anger and a desire for reconciliation. Would she let this man, who represented everything she had loathed and desired, back in her life? Could they transform the wreckage of their past into a bridge towards something better? As they stood there, facing each other under the unforgiving bridge, the echoes of possibility swirled. Could redemption and forgiveness be within reach, or would the mistakes of the past continue to define them? Emily felt the weight of Robert's gaze, as if it bore 1,000 questions. The tension stretched like a taut wire between them, each of them holding their breath. I don't even know who you are anymore, she managed to say, her voice barely a whisper. Robert stepped forward, a mixture of urgency and regret on his face. I need to explain. I was lost in my own world, consumed with work and my ambitions. I thought distance might help, but all it did was push my family away. Ambitions? You chose them over family. Emily felt the fire in her chest threaten to engulf her. You think just saying sorry will fix everything? We've been living under a bridge. Do you even know what that feels like? Mia, sensing the rising tension, tugged at her mother's sleeve. Mommy, can we go see the animals? She asked, her big eyes filled with innocence. Both adults turned to her, Emily's heart melting at her daughter's attempt to change the mood. Sweetheart, we're talking right now, Emily said softly, kneeling to look into Mia's eyes. I promise we'll find some animals soon. Robert knelt too, a pained expression on his face. Mia, your mom is right to be upset, he said, his voice softer now. I'm not here to take you away from her. I want to make things right. I can help you, both of you. You think money will make us better? What if it only builds a bigger wall? Emily shot back, trying to keep the hurt at bay. I have a plan, he insisted, the hope in his voice almost tangible. I can provide a roof over your heads, food in your stomachs. I thought a safety net would give you time, a chance to heal without worrying. A safety net? Emily repeated, her disbelief washing over her. Is that what you think we need? Something to catch us when we fall. We've already fallen, Robert. We need more than that. Mia's little hand slipped into Emily's, seeking comfort. Mommy, I just want to go to the park in that moment. Emily remembered the parks filled with laughter, the smell of fresh grass, the innocence of childhood. Her chest tightened, an ache for simple moments mingling with anger toward a man who had let them down for so long. Robert began, but she interrupted. No, you don't get to call me that. Not after everything. You chose your life over us, Robert. Remember that. The silence between them hung heavy. The chaos of the city hummed around them, a sad backdrop to an unresolved story. Mia kicked the dirt with her little boots, bringing Emily back to the reality they were in. I have to think. Emily stepped back, dragging Mia with her. She turned her back on Robert, feeling the chill of rejection wash over them both. We'll be fine without your help. As they walked away, she could feel Robert's eyes on her, the sadness etched into his face. But doubts trickled into her mind like poison. Could they really be fine? An uneasy silence followed as they wandered aimlessly along the sidewalk. The city buzzed around them, indifferent to their plight. Mama, are we going to live in the park? Mia piped up, looking up with trusting eyes. Emily knelt down, brushing back Mia's hair, her heart twisting. I don't know, baby, but I promise we'll figure it out together. In that moment, hope flickered like a candle in her heart. Despite the shadows of despair, there was still a glimmer of light. Emily clenched Mia's hand tighter, an unspoken promise of resilience. But just as they turned the corner, their journey ahead interrupted them. A local news camera appeared, a crew filming for a segment on homelessness. Is this your daughter? A producer called over, signaling them to come forward. Do you want to share your story? Emily's heart raced. Was this the chance she never expected? As she looked to Mia, who seemed unaware of the weight of their situation, she realized her voice could matter now more than ever. Could it serve as a rallying cry for change? With sudden resolve, Emily took a step forward, feeling the pulse of hope beating within her. What if this moment changed everything? And as she readied herself to speak, she caught a glimpse of Robert watching, a face full of questions, regret, and perhaps a hint of hope. Could this be the start of a new path for their family? Would she be brave enough to let her story take flight? Emily squared her shoulders, her breath catching in her throat as the camera lens shimmered in the sunlight. Her heart pounded like a drum in her chest, mixing nerves with the fervor of determination. This was it. Here was the spotlight, the chance to speak. Mama, Mia tugged at her arm, her small voice barely breaking the sound of the city. What's happening? With a smile that felt fragile but reassuring, Emily knelt down. Just some people who want to hear her story. Honey, you remember what I told you about being brave? Mia nodded, her little brow furrowed but trusting. The producer stepped closer, gently urging Emily to share more. Can you tell us what brought you here today? Emily glanced at Robert. He stood just off to the side, an island of uncertainty among the bustling crowd. For a moment, their eyes met, and something shifted, an understanding sparking silently between them. Turning back to the camera, Emily felt a swell of emotion. "We've been through a lot," she said, her voice shaking but steadying. "My daughter and I lost our home. It's been hard, really hard." There was her truth laid bare. An echo of silence surrounded them, punctuated by the distant hum of the city. With every word she spoke, her courage built, as if it were more than just a story. It was a lifeline. "Some days, we don't know where our next meal is coming from." She could feel the heat prickling her eyes. "But I tell Mia that we're strong. We're going to find a way to be okay again." Mia's fingers intertwined with hers, a sweet gesture of love and support, grounding Emily in the moment. The crew listened, captivated, and she could see them exchanging glances of empathy. "Why do you want to share this?" the producer asked gently. "Because," Emily paused, swallowing her emotions, "I want people to know that it can happen to anyone, and we need help. Not just for us, but for all those going through something similar." The producer smiled, nodding, and turned to the camera. "There you have it, a story of resilience, of love. This is a reminder of the struggles people face. Stay tuned as we continue to cover what communities need." Emily suddenly felt lightheaded. She was speaking for so many others who felt voiceless, forgotten. And yet, a thread of anxiety wove through her. Was she ready for the consequences of this exposure? When the crew wrapped up, reporters began to disperse, but the producer approached again, softer this time. "Thank you for sharing. We're going to work closely with local charities to help you." Her heart soared and instantly fell. What if this didn't change anything? What if it was just another empty promise? As she shook hands and exchanged kind words with the team, Robert stepped closer, his expression now hopeful. "I didn't know you'd be this brave," he said, a tremor in his voice. "Brave or foolish?" Emily replied, brushing her hair behind her ear, frustration bubbling beneath the surface again. "Doesn't matter. It's done now." Robert took a step closer, his yearning evident. "I want to help. I can't just stand by anymore." She caught a glimpse of Mia, her daughter, now slightly smiling at the producer, confidence growing as she witnessed her mother stand tall. Emily felt torn between anger and a flicker of relief. Could she trust him again? Should she? Mama Mia called, breaking her focus. "Are we going to go home now?" Emily knelt beside her, trying to find the words. "That's the plan, sweetheart. We'll find a place." Then she noticed the lingering camera, the crew still documenting their every move. The weight of her situation pressed on her shoulders, heavier than ever. She knew this was just the beginning of a potential road to healing, but the sense of vulnerability gnawed at her. Robert moved beside her, a silent offer of support. Emily closed her eyes, feeling a swell of emotion. Could she truly allow herself to lean on him? The unanswered question hung between them like an open door. As they walked on, a mix of uncertainty and hope for tomorrow settled in the pit of her stomach. What awaited them on that horizon? Would this unexpected exposure lead to real change, or would it push them into colder waters? With the sun setting in the distance, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Emily held Mia's hand tightly, bracing for whatever came next, knowing she would fight every step of the way. But in the realm of possibilities, one burning thought pierced through. Could this moment of vulnerability transform them? Or would it expose deeper rifts in her heart? The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows as they walked through the bustling streets. A cool breeze prickled Emily's skin, but inside her, a furnace of anxiety roared. The world felt louder now, each sound echoing in her ears: a honking car, distant laughter, and murmurs from well-to-do passers-by who had no idea what it was like to be in her shoes. "Mama, I'm hungry," Mia's small voice cut through her thoughts, innocent but pointed. It was a reminder that beneath the stress and the camera lights, her daughter's needs always came first. "Let us stop for a snack," Emily quickly replied, her voice upbeat, hoping to mask her own worry. They found a small cafe, a place where the smell of coffee mingled with something sweet in the air. They settled at a table outside. Emily ordered pastries, her heart sinking at the price. Could they afford this? Would it count as the treat Mia deserved? Or was it a splurge they should avoid? While they waited, she felt Robert's presence beside them, a constant reminder of her conflicted emotions. He didn't say much, but his eyes communicated a barrage of unspoken feelings: concern, guilt, longing. That longing tugged at something deep within her, the part of her that still held a flicker of affection for him. Mamma Mia's voice broke through again, softer now. "Can we sit inside? It's so sunny." Emily looked up, catching Robert's gaze. The heat from his stare sent warmth fluttering through her chest. He was a piece of her past, and suddenly, just 24 hours ago, everything felt simpler. If she were to let him back in, could they rebuild something stronger? Or would the past resurface, dragging them both back into shadows? They moved inside, where it felt more secure, more loved. As she watched Mia crunch into her pastry, a small smile erupted on Emily's face. It felt good to see her daughter happy, even if just for a moment. But then she noticed Mia's excited chatter was drawing the attention of a couple nearby. "Look at that little girl. Isn't she just a doll?" one woman said, her voice dripping with sweet admiration. Emily felt a shiver. They didn't know the truth, didn't see the battle. For each compliment thrown Mia's way, Emily felt the weight of judgment behind them. Were they whispering about how she, as a mother, ended up here? Trying to shake the thoughts away, Emily focused on Mia, who giggled over a sugar-covered pastry. Suddenly, a tall man at the counter caught her eye. He was older, perhaps in his 60s, dressed sharply, adjusting his cufflinks. An image of Robert sprang to her mind. What if this man was someone with connections? Someone who could genuinely help? Just as she started to entertain that thought, the man turned and caught her gaze. He stepped closer, a curious look on his face. "Excuse me," he said with a kind smile. "Is everything all right here?" Emily's heart raced. Should she be brave again? Share their story? But how could she expect help when her own strength felt so frayed? Before she could think, Robert interjected. "Yes, actually, we were just—" Emily shot him a look, but he continued. She and her daughter have been facing some tough times. The man's expression shifted from casual to concerned. "I'm sorry to hear that. Do you need assistance?" Now the spotlight darted back to Emily, burning bright. Could this be the moment that shifted everything? She hesitated, caught between wanting to trust, yet fearing the vulnerability of sharing. With Mia's little hand curled around hers, the warmth seeped into her resolve. Could she take this chance? Just then, Robert's hand touched her shoulder, an unexpected gesture. "You're not alone. You can do this." She met his eyes, searching for the truth, but for now, the moment seemed to stretch on, full of possibility and uncertainty. As she opened her mouth to respond, her heart raced. What would she say? Would she dare to reveal their story yet again, or shield herself from further disappointment? The air thickened with anticipation, and time seemed to linger. Was this the new beginning she had been waiting for, or another moment that could lead to heartbreak? With her heart pounding in her chest, Emily stood at the precipice of deciding, daring to hope amidst the chaos of her world. What would unfold in the next heartbeat? Emily's breath caught in her throat, the weight of the stranger's gaze thick in the air. The well-dressed man stood there, eyebrows lifted in genuine concern. Could she dare to hope? We could use some help, she finally managed, her voice trembling slightly. Mia glanced up at her, her bright eyes casting an innocent glow filled with trust. "Please, tell me your story," the man urged, his tone warm as if he'd known them forever. Emily exchanged a fleeting look with Robert, who nodded ever so slightly, emboldening her with the silent support she so desperately needed. Taking a deep breath, she began to unwrap the layers of her reality. "It's been hard. After my husband left, I lost my job. Things just spiraled." Each word felt like a shackle breaking away, but tears threatened to spill as she saw his compassionate gaze not flickering away, but fostering the courage to continue. "And now, I'm just trying to make ends meet for Mia. I want to give her a better life." The man listened intently, his expression softening with every syllable. "And what about family? Is there anyone who can help? Emily's heart sank. Not really. My parents, she faltered, they don't understand. They think I should be done better. It hurt to admit that vulnerability, to lay bare the fracture of pride that had once made her so strong. The man nodded, seemingly undeterred by what many would see as failure. Family can come in many forms, he said, his voice steady and rich. Sometimes it's not about blood, but who's there for you in tough times. Just then, Mia spoke up, her voice chiming with innocent curiosity. Are you a superhero? She asked, her eyes wide. Emily stifled a laugh, mixed with tears. The old man chuckled heartily, and in that pure moment of sweetness, Emily felt a crack in the fortress of her heart. No, sweetheart, he replied, bending down slightly to meet her gaze. But I can help people like you. He turned his eyes toward Emily. What would you need? A job? Housing? His words hung vibrant in the air, bursting with possibility, but Emily felt fear knotting her stomach. What if this man was just being kind? What if hope was just another disappointment waiting to happen? We would need a way to get back on our feet, she said finally, her voice more certain now. I just want Mia to feel safe. The man stroked his chin deep in thought. I might be able to connect you with some resources. I know a few programs that help people being displaced, and I'm involved with some charitable organizations, the kind that actually care. The sincerity in his voice draped a warmth across Emily's shoulders. Reaching into her purse, she grabbed a crumpled piece of paper, her last remaining notepad. I can write down my number, she said, realizing the trembling excitement in her hands. As she scribbled, Mia leaned closer to the stranger, beaming up at him. Will we be okay now? Her question sliced through Emily's guarded heart, revealing the true depth of her worries. The man smiled softly, the kind that lit up the shadows of the cafe. Yes, little girl, you're going to be okay. Suddenly, Emily felt something shift inside her, a glimmer of hope igniting a fire she thought had gone out. But then doubt crept in, the familiar voice whispering that things couldn't change so easily. She handed the paper over, their eyes locking in a moment filled with unspoken promises. Let us stay in touch. I can help you both, he said as he stood, straightening his jacket. Thank you. Emily breathed, choking on her words as she beheld this fragment of kindness in a world that felt too heavy. As the man stepped back, Robert cleared his throat. Maybe you should think about reaching out to him, Emily. You won't know unless you try, he urged. Mia clapped her hands together. Can we go somewhere fun now, Mama? The lightness in Mia's voice lifted Emily's heart, but doubt had its claws deep inside her. What if this didn't work out? What if she was just chasing shadows again? With every passerby's gaze still lingering, Emily felt their judgment, a constant reminder of her own insecurities. But one question hung in the air, louder than the rest. Was she willing to take that leap of faith? As they finished their pastries, now tasting sweeter than before, she made a silent promise. Maybe this time, she would refuse to let fear dictate her path. But the real challenge lay ahead. Would she dare to step beyond this moment and embrace the help offered? Or would she retreat back into the shadows? The cafe doors swung open, and Emily felt a swell of emotion. With one bold decision, everything might change. But what would it take for her to truly believe in that change? Emily held the crumpled piece of paper tightly, her heart pounding in her chest. She watched the well-dressed man walk away, feeling a mix of hope and trepidation. The door swung shut behind him, and the cafe faded back into its usual hustle and bustle. Mia swung her little legs under the table, blissfully unaware of the swirling storm of emotion around her. Can we get ice cream, Mama? She asked, her excitement bubbling over. Sure, sweetie, Emily replied, forcing a smile. As she sat there, gazing into Mia's bright eyes, a wave of protective instinct surged through her. This moment felt fragile, like glass teetering on the edge of a crack. Let us finish what we have first, she said softly, pushing her half-eaten pastry aside. But her heart wasn't in the sweet treat any longer. It was suctioned toward the stranger and the promise tucked behind his smile. Mommy! Mia's squeal jolted Emily from her thoughts. You're sad again. No, I'm just thinking, Emily said, brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. You know about how we can get that ice cream. Mia's face lit up. Do you think we can go to the park too? We can go anywhere you want, Mia, Emily replied, her voice steadier now. The sun streamed through the cafe windows, illuminating the path ahead. But the nagging voice of doubt returned. What if the chance offered was just another mirage? Emily shook her head. She needed to make a choice, and in that moment, she decided to take a leap. Let us go home first. I need to check something, she said. Okay. Mia clapped again, blissfully unaware that her tiny mother's heart was racing with each beat. Back at their cramped apartment, Emily rummaged through drawers for a phone she rarely used. It was old, a relic of better times, yet she hoped it still had some charge left. She quickly plugged it in, the anxiety knotting hard in her stomach. Moments stretched into what felt like hours. Finally, the screen flickered to life. She knew it would be easy to ignore the number she de-scribbled. It was just a name, just an offer from someone she didn't really know. But this wasn't a game. This was her life, Mia's life. Think, Emily, just think, she whispered to herself. With trembling fingers, she dialed the number. Each ring felt like an eternity, but she couldn't hang up now. The weight of every moment led her here. Hello. The voice on the other end was smoother than she had imagined. Hi, this is Emily. From the cafe? Emily, I was hoping you'd reach out. I wanted to connect you to someone who can help. His voice was steady, confident. Emily's stomach nodded. Thank you for getting back to me. I'm just nervous. I understand. But you took the first step, and that's important, he encouraged. As they spoke, clarity seeped into her heart. He explained programs that could provide temporary housing, job training, and even support for single mothers. The more he shared, the smaller her fears felt. That sounds, it could change everything, she murmured, staring out the window as a couple strolled by holding hands, a contrast to her own chaotic internal landscape. Emily, this isn't just about you. It's about your daughter, too. You deserve every opportunity you can get. His words washed over her like a balm. The vision she saw for Mia's future flickered vividly, now filled with laughter, safety, and adventure. Okay, I want to move forward, Emily finally said, her voice clearer now. Great. I'll send you the details, and we can set up a time to meet. And remember, you're not alone in this. Hanging up, Emily felt a mixture of exhilaration and fear. How could she trust this man? Was she really stepping into something that could alter their lives for the better? Mama? Mia's sweet voice broke through her thoughts, pulling her back. Can we get ice cream now? Emily smiled, feeling lighter than she had in days. Yes, let us go and celebrate. As they walked hand in hand to their favorite ice cream shop, hope mingled with uncertainty, balancing perfectly in the air between them. But as they strolled, a single thought flickered in Emily's mind like wildfire. What if tomorrow brought a call that changed everything, and what if she lost her nerve before it happened? Little did she know, her journey was just beginning, and what awaited them might be far more than they ever bargained for. The moment she picked up that phone had been pivotal, but what lay ahead could either solidify her resolve or shatter her hopes once again. The ice cream shop was buzzing with chatter and laughter, the kind of warmth that felt like a hug on a chilly day. Emily took a deep breath, trying to absorb the joy around her. Mia was already bouncing on her feet, her eyes wide as she picked her favorite flavor chocolate chip cookie dough. Get whatever you want, sweetheart, Emily encouraged, her own excitement bubbling under the surface. As Mia hopped to the counter, Emily scanned the shop, her heart still tangled in yesterday's conversation. The man's voice echoed in her mind, each word weaving threads of possibilities into the fabric of her thoughts. She felt like she was standing at a crossroads, unsure which path to follow. Mommy, look. Mia held up a huge cone topped with whipped cream and a cherry. Emily laughed, a genuine sound that caught her off guard. That's a monster scoop. Mia grinned, her teeth daubed with chocolate, looking so like a carefree child at that moment. But behind that joy, Emily could feel the tether of worry pulling her thoughts back to reality. Could she really trust a stranger? They settled at a small table outside, the sun warming their cheeks. Emily watched as Mia savored each bite, blissfully unaware of her mother's inner turmoil. What if it goes wrong, Mia? She whispered softly to herself. What if this isn't the answer we need? As though sensing her doubt, Mia looked up, her expression a mix of confusion and innocence. What's wrong, Mama? Emily forced another smile. Nothing, sweetie. Just thinking about the future. Mia nodded, digging into her ice cream again. I want to be an astronaut when I grow up and fly to Mars. Then I can bring you ice cream from there. Her words stirred something in Emily. That dream shining like a beacon showed her the light that she'd been searching for. That sounds amazing, Pumpkin, she said, reaching across the table to squeeze Mia's hand. You can do anything you set your mind to. But could she? The fear of failing Mia loomed heavy over her heart. She had always imagined her daughter living a life full of opportunities, free from struggle. What if she couldn't deliver on that promise? After licking the last of the ice cream from her cone, Mia shot a bright smile up at her mother. Can we go to the park now? Absolutely, Emily replied, standing and taking her daughter's hand. The park was just a few blocks away. As they walked, Emily started to feel the tightness in her chest ease just slightly. They strolled past quaint houses, colorful gardens, and dogs barking in backyards. For the first time in ages, hope flickered within her like the sun cutting through clouds. When they reached the park, laughter and the sounds of children playing filled the air. Mia ran towards the swings, her laughter ringing like music. But just as Emily settled on a nearby bench, her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a text. Hey Emily, it's Chris. I've sent over the details we discussed. Let me know if you have questions. Looking forward to talking tomorrow. Emily's heart raced. Tomorrow, a day that could change everything. Mia's voice broke her thoughts again. Mama, push me higher. Emily forced a smile and rushed to the swings. But inside, her mind was a whirlwind. What if Chris's help came with strings attached? What if she wasn't ready to commit herself to the unknown? Pushing Mia gently, she half wondered if it was easier to live in the shadows of doubt rather than step into the light of change. Mama, I'm flying, Mia squealed, her feet kicking high into the air. Emily's heart soared with her. This was the joy she had been pushing aside, and it felt so good to embrace it. Yet, hidden beneath that joy lay the persistent question. Should she take that leap of faith into Chris's world? As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Emily felt the weight of tomorrow pressing down on her. What if taking that leap meant either the beginning of a beautiful life or a total rejection of everything she held dear? She watched Mia, shining under the fading light, and the pull between fear and hope seemed to sway almost rhythmically. But deep down, Emily felt a question linger, heavy as twilight. Was she ready to unearth the truths that tomorrow might bring? As the last rays of sunlight faded into dusk, Emily watched Mia swinging, her laughter echoing through the park like a sweet melody. In that moment, the little girl seemed untouchable, her dreams as vast as the night sky ahead. But the shadows around Emily grew longer, and with them, her worries rose like a cool breeze whispering through the trees. Time to come home soon, sugar, she called out gently. Mia's laughter dimmed just slightly, replaced by a smile that lit up her face. Just a little bit longer, Mama. She swung back and forth, reaching higher and higher, as if trying to touch the stars already. Emily turned her gaze toward the sky, the first stars twinkling timidly above. What would it take for her to reach for her own dreams? What would it take to believe she was deserving of a brighter future, one where challenges weren't so overwhelming? Her heart raced again at the thought of tomorrow's conversation with Chris. Could he be the catalyst for the change she secretly craved? Or would he just complicate everything? She caught herself biting her lip, her mind swirling with uncertainties. Mama, Mia's voice broke through her thoughts like a bell. Can I try the slide next? Emily nodded, mustering a smile. Of course, but let us set a time to head home too, okay? As Mia bolted off toward the slide, Emily couldn't help but admire her boundless energy. But just as she began to relax, her phone buzzed again, jerking her back to reality. Another message pinged in, this time from an unknown number. Hi, Emily, it's Aaron. I found your old blog and read your story. I think you need to hear from someone who has been where you are. Can we talk? The unexpected message sent a ripple of excitement coursing through her. Her fingers hesitated over the screen. Was this just another distraction or a sign? Her old blog had been a safe space for her, a place to pour out her heart in a world that seemed to push her away. But reaching out to Aaron felt like stepping onto a path paved with hope, also lined with potential heartbreak. Mama, look, Mia shouted again, this time gesturing wildly. I'm going to go down the slide like an astronaut landing on Mars. Emily chuckled, the image of her daughter conquering the slide bringing her back to grounding thoughts. That spark of imagination in Mia ignited something within her as well, a whisper of the possibilities that lay ahead. Okay, go for it. Just be careful. Tension in her chest eased a bit more as she watched her daughter climb to the top of the slide, her face filled with determination. As Mia zipped down, squealing with delight, Emily felt a shift within herself. Maybe she could take a leap too, one that could bring transformation, not just for her, but for Mia as well. The weight of her fears didn't disappear, but somehow, the bright glow of hope felt a little more vivid. She glanced at the message from Aaron again, a weighty decision hidden inside. What if this conversation could open doors she never knew existed? Mama. Again, Mia cried, once more eager for the thrill. Emily knew that she had the power to reshape their future. Each slide down brought them closer to newfound understanding. Just as the stars began to sprinkle across the night sky, she felt the fire within her flicker into existence. But what if, after all of this, the change she craved wasn't what she expected? Okay, pumpkin, she replied, determination settling in her heart. Just a few more slides, and then we'll head home. As she walked over to help her daughter, she couldn't shake the feeling of impending decisions and the weight of tomorrow. Tomorrow wasn't just about one conversation. It was about forging a new story, one where she and Mia wouldn't just survive but thrive. Come on, Mama, race you, Mia shouted as she darted toward the slide. But what lay beneath the surface of their race into the future? Would they find connection or more obstacles? Emily held tightly to that question, feeling it echo inside her, pulling her deeper into the labyrinth of possibilities that awaited. The crisp air brushed against Emily's cheeks, mingling with the fading warmth of the park. Each swing, each slide was a battle against time. As Mia galloped around, bright-eyed and full of life, Emily felt that make-or-break moment looming. It was more than just a conversation with Chris. It was about her spirit being unshackled. Last slide, Mia, Emily called, tapping her foot against the hard ground to stifle her nerves. Okay, Mama, came the spirited reply. Mia dashed toward the slide again, her feet pounding the earth like a small heartbeat, echoing Emily's own rising fear and hope. Emily eyed her phone, heart lurching as she debated. Aaron S. words lingered in her mind. Someone who has been where you are. What did that even mean? Had Aaron fought demons too? Did she have a story of overcoming, of crawling from despair into the light? Mia dashed up the steps to the slide, determination etched on her little face. Emily's chest tightened. It was mesmerizing to watch. It reminded her of the struggles that had shaped them both, but this was different. Maybe it was time to claim a future that felt just out of reach. As Mia whizzed down the slide once more, squeals of sheer joy erupted from her. Emily clapped, taking in the delight that poured from her daughter. But that smile also tugged at her heart, for it was mixed with the uncertainty of the future. Would their laughter always sound this carefree, or would the invisible weight of worry consume them? All right, superstar. Emily joined in on Mia's excitement. Ready for one last race back home? Last race. Let's go. Mia squealed, her laughter chasing away lingering shadows in Emily's mind. Mia sprinted forward, the very essence of youthful exuberance. In that moment, Emily saw the woman she aspired to be, not just a mother fighting to provide, but a beacon of light and hope for her daughter. If she could take this small step and talk to Aaron, maybe it could set off a chain reaction of change. Before she could get lost in the possibilities, Mia returned, breathless, staring up at her expectantly. "Mama, are we going to have pizza for dinner? Or spaghetti?" The simple pleasure in her daughter's voice grounded Emily. "How about we make a little pizza at home together?" Mia clapped her hands, beaming. "The best idea ever. Can we make it in the shape of a star?" "Of course." Emily smiled, imagining Mia's little hands crafting dough into twinkling shapes. They turned toward the park exit, but a nagging thought crossed her mind: how much longer could they keep running this race in life without an anchor? Did reaching out to Aaron mean accepting help, or was it an admission of failure? As they approached the car, Emily's phone vibrated again. It was a response from Aaron. "I promise to be understanding. No pressure. Just sharing what helped me. Text me when you're ready." Mia hopped into the back seat, giggling with excitement over the idea of star-shaped pizza. Emily took a deep breath, her heart thumping again, an uncertain rhythm that felt both daunting and exhilarating. She glanced back at the playground, shadows stretching long into the night. The park, once a place of fun, now held echoes of possibilities. Could this be the place where her story truly began to shift? As she buckled her seatbelt, determination blossomed. Tomorrow was more than a conversation with Chris. It felt like an opening to something fresh, something transformative. All she needed was the courage to embrace it. "Manga," Mia yelled, interrupting her thoughts. "Do you think we can make star pizzas every night?" Emily turned, laughing. "Maybe not every night, but we can try for once a week." The car rumbled to life, the headlights piercing the darkness of the night. Emily could almost feel the weight of upcoming decisions hovering close, but as she steered toward home, a feeling of renewal surged through her. What if this wasn't just about star pizzas or simple conversations anymore? What if it was the start of rewriting their destiny entirely? And just like that, in the quiet of the car, a new question took root. What if tomorrow turned everything upside down, and this time it meant finally finding their way home? The night sky was a blanket of stars as Emily parked the car in front of their apartment. Each twinkle felt like a promise, guiding her forward. The weight of the past lingered in the back seat, but tonight she could sense change on the horizon. "Mama, can we make the star pizzas now?" Mia's voice broke through her thoughts, vibrant and eager, reminding Emily of the urgency to embrace this moment. "Absolutely, sweetie," Emily replied, her heart swelling with a newfound determination. Together, they strode into their dimly lit apartment, where shadows of yesterday whispered a reminder of the challenges still ahead. "Let us turn on some music," Mia chirped, her enthusiasm filling the space. Emily smiled, feeling the warmth of her daughter's joy. She rummaged through the cabinets for the pizza-making supplies, her hands shaking slightly not from fear, but from the thrill of what lay ahead. "Can you help me roll the dough?" Emily asked as she set out the ingredients. As they slid into their roles as chefs, the kitchen sparkled with laughter and flour. The moment felt sacred, a piece of normalcy amidst the storm. "You know, Mom," Mia said, her eyes shining as they sprinkled flour into the mixing bowl, "I believe we're going to be okay." Her little confidence ignited a light within Emily's heart. How often had she doubted herself, while Mia remained steadfast? "You believe that?" Emily asked, her voice thick with emotion as she watched her daughter mold the dough with tiny hands, each push and pinch a burst of innocent faith. "I do," Mia replied, grinning, "and I want to help everyone else. Can we invite the people under the bridge for pizza?" Emily felt a lump in her throat. How had her little girl become such a shining beacon of compassion? "That is such a good idea, Mia. We can." As they crafted star-shaped pizzas with colorful toppings, something shifted within Emily. It was more than just dough and sauce. It was the act of creating a manifestation of hope and love. Perhaps the world wouldn't change overnight, but she could carve a piece of happiness for them right here. That night, amidst laughter, cheese, and flour-dusted countertops, Emily decided to text Aaron. The message was simple but heavy with meaning. Hi, Aaron. I'd like to talk. When are you free? As she hit send, a weight lifted. The unknown loomed ahead, but Emily felt a fierce flame of hope flickering to life. Hours later, after they savored the last slice of pizza, Emily tucked Mia into bed. As she faced her daughter, Emily realized that everything she had fought for was sleeping under her roof, full of dreams waiting to unfold. Mama? Mia murmured, her eyes fluttering open. Are you going to be okay? Emily smoothed back her daughter's hair, her heart swelling. Yes, honey, I'm going to be okay. We're going to be okay. The next morning, sunlight poured in, illuminating their small space. Emily felt an energy coursing through her veins. Today was a day of possibilities. She donned her best outfit, a simple but clean dress, and took a deep breath. Mia, do you want to come with me? Where? Mia asked, eyes bright. To meet Aaron and to talk about our future. Grinning broadly, Mia jumped up. Can I wear my star t-shirt? Of course. Emily laughed, her heart lightening. They dressed, and as they stepped outside into the warming sun, Emily felt a sense of purpose blooming. At the cafe where Aaron had suggested they meet, the atmosphere buzzed with energy. Emily could feel the flutter of nerves beneath her calm exterior, but Mia's hand squeezed hers just as tightly, anchoring her to the moment. When Aaron walked in, Emily's stomach flipped. The woman radiated kindness, and as they exchanged greetings, Emily felt her walls begin to crack open. I'm so glad we're finally here to connect, Aaron said, a reassuring smile on her face. As they spoke, Emily unveiled their struggles, her fears, her dreams, and a determination to create a better life for Mia. With every word, she felt layers of doubt peel away. Aaron listened, taking it all in with genuine interest and empathy. I've been where you are, Aaron said softly, but it doesn't define you. Change is possible. Emily felt a tremor of hope. What if I fail again? Every step forward counts, Emily, Aaron responded, her voice steady. Failure is just another opportunity to learn. You and Mia deserve a life filled with possibility. The conversation flowed naturally, weaving the threads of support and understanding. Emily could feel a new tapestry forming, the colors vibrant and alive rather than muted by fear. I'll help you connect with community resources, job training, and housing options, Aaron said, her commitment lighting a fire in Emily's heart. And for the first time, Emily saw a future beyond mere survival. She envisioned comfort, laughter, and the laughter of a joyous little girl. As they wrapped up, Mia bounded toward Emily and Aaron, her eyes filled with eagerness. Did you talk about how we can help everyone? Like the people under the bridge? Emily turned to Aaron, who nodded enthusiastically. Absolutely. It starts with you two sharing your story of hope. Together, we can make waves. Mia squealed with delight, and at that moment standing together with Aaron and her daughter, Emily felt a surge of emotion. Together, they could breathe life into change. By the time they stepped outside, a cascade of possibilities unfurled ahead like a beautiful tapestry. The worries and shadows that had lingered were now just distant echoes. As they walked back to the car, the sun shining brightly above, Emily knew they were ready to embark on this new chapter. This was the beginning of their transformation, a journey that began not only with hope, but with love and determination. Together, they were not just survivors. They were dreamers, creators, and changemakers. And as Emily took Mia's little hand in hers, she whispered, "Let us make the world a little brighter, one star at a time." So they did side by side, carving a path of love and resilience that spirit could not destroy. Now is the time for you to commit to change and growth. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next incredible story that will inspire you. Leave a like now to help spread this message of hope and empowerment. Comment how you felt about Emily and Mia's journey and share your thoughts. And don't wait, not even one more second, to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. True fans know how important it is to support this channel. Let us build a community of change together.